The Black Panther Party was a black militant group that arose during the Civil Rights era with the goal of resisting oppression of African Americans, often in methods described as policing the police. The originators of the group, Huey Newton and Bobby Seale, believed that nonviolent protests alone would not bring freedom to African Americans, and the root of the struggles their people faced came from class discrimination, and that capitalism and freedom could not coexist. An important part of the legacy of the party came from their survival programs, most notably the free breakfast program for school children and the People's Free Food Program. The initial intentions of self defense that the party was founded on expanded to social programs to support the oppressed, believing that people cannot resist without their basic needs met. The data collected by the Southern Christian Leadership Conference Research Committee showed the approximation of a third to half of the very poor experienced hunger and malnutrition, and the lack of oversight on the national programs meant to feed children, like the National School Lunch Program, saw little supervision from Congress, and the funds available were often insufficient to feed students over the full duration of a school year. When the Black Panther Party began the free breakfast program in Oakland, many of the issues that national programs faced were circumvented due to volunteer work and the lack of screening that many national programs mandated, as well as the time frame of 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. fitting more children's schedules. By the end of the first week, 135 children participated in the program, and the initial success would lead to the adoption of the program outside of California in states like New York, Colorado, Kansas, and Baltimore. The public perception of the party as a paramilitary group parading their loaded arms would begin to soften within African American and liberal spaces. The legitimization of the party would prove useful for hosting future breakfast programs, with churches, community centers, and sometimes the homes of other people acting as the locations for the breakfast program. The busier locations would see as many as 1,200 students each week come for their breakfast. The program also made sure to send children home with groceries if the party was unable to host a program on a specific day. Outside of helping families with having to pay for less meals each day, the program also allowed for members of the party to speak to the community outside of their patrols, and the Associated Press around the program created an image of the party helping the local communities. Along with their breakfast, children were also able to learn in these spaces with the party, where they would be taught history from the perspective of the poor, marginalized group, and the oppressive forces in the U.S., like the cops, or pigs as they referred them as, or the middle class black Americans who opposed the Black Panther Party. The party believed the children would begin to question why the Black Panther Party was doing more to feed them than the capitalists in charge, and some programs saw children discussing boycotts of chain stores who refused to donate to a breakfast program. In Newton's words, the programs are another tactic for revolution. A particular instance saw Bill's Liquors Number 2, a black-owned business, suffer a boycott due to its refusal to assist with the breakfast program, with over 40 picketers stationing themselves outside of the liquor store to protest. Protest art depicts Owner Boyette as drinking the blood of suffering African Americans, aligning him with the white nationalists and businessmen the party opposed. The party held a complicated relationship with the community of faith, as several churches refused to host the breakfast program for several reasons, which the party publicly shamed them for. There were church members like Father Neil, who became more radicalized as the struggle for equality continued, and he began to urge other Christian preachers to redefine what was moral and ethical, referring to their nonviolent stances. Father Eugene Boyle of Sacred Heart Church adamantly defended the Black Panther Party, even when allegations arose that coloring books given to the children encouraged violence against white police officers. Father Boyle refuted the claim, citing an incident where the party squashed a potential riot in the streets. The breakfast program would also see resistance from police officers and government officials, with reports in Richmond, Virginia, alleging that officers were going door to door to dissuade parents from letting their children attend the breakfast program, citing that they were teaching racist ideologies and promoting riots. Head of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, declared war on the party in 1969 and called their program potentially the greatest threat to efforts by authorities to neutralize the Black Panther Party and destroy what it stands for. There are several reports of police arresting party members during the programs or using intimidation to force organizers to end prematurely, sometimes resorting to destroying or urinating on the food. In 1975, the Black Panther Party would be vindicated by the introduction of the National School Breakfast Program, and estimates made by Newton claim that the breakfast program the Black Panther Party ran fed nearly 75,000 children by the end of the first year. Today, the National School Breakfast Program helps feed over 14.5 million children. While official sources regarding the National School Breakfast Program do not mention the Black Panther Party or the survival programs, the pressure that the campaigns the party held were undoubtedly an influence on the creation of the program.